Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President and CEO, Mazda North American Operations, Masa Moro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. Mazda is at a special time in its history as we approach our global 100 years anniversary in 2020. As we look to the significant year and to the years beyond, we will tell our unique story in new ways. Mazda are not commodities and never will be. Customers don't seek out commodities, and they seek out and choose to stay with a strong brand they have an affinity to. As Mazda's showroom lineup has matured since we launched the original CX-5 4 years ago, we have centered our brand journey around design. Mazda is now known for great-looking vehicles that play in a class above as far as the equipment, styling, and dynamics are concerned, but always at a price point where the customer perceives a high value for money. Every Mazda is designed to stand out from the crowd and is the sort of car that makes you excited just to drive. And that is what we are here to discuss tonight. And I believe you will find it both entertaining and informative. But before I hand over the stage to my design colleagues, I'd like to recognize a few of our guests from Mazda entities from all over the world. Firstly, from Mazda Motor Corporation, Akira Marumoto-san, representing Director and Executive Vice President. He's my boss, effectively, so it's important. So Yuji Harada-san, Director and Senior Managing Executive Officer in charge of Global PR. And Kiyoshi Fujiwara-san is the Senior Managing Executive Officer in charge of R&D. And my friend, Jeff Guyton, he is the President and CEO from Mazda Motor Europe. Jeff, welcome. And Australia, Martin Benders, Managing Director. And our neighbor, Mazda Mexico, Miguel Barbeito, Senior Director of Operations. Welcome. Now from our design teams globally, Kevin Rice, Design Director at Mazda Design Europe. Kevin, thank you for joining us. And Julian Montose, Design Director at America, Mazda Design America. Thank you, Julian. And lastly, I hand over the microphone and the stage to Ikuo Maeda, who is our global design head. And he is taking you through our program tonight. So Maeda-san, why don't you come out to stage?
Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? Must be good. Welcome to our design workshop. Design the core value of brand. Probably I have to say design is one of the core value of our brand. But it is great to have the opportunity to speak my thought and the strategy behind design to you here in LA. Looking back on the past, I became the leader of Mazda Design in 2009 and launched a new design strategy in 2010. The challenging goal I set from the outset was to elevate the quality of Mazda Design to world-class standards, and at the same time, to give the brand its own distinctive style. We have kept pushing forward to achieve that goal up to the present day. As a result, I believe that the Mazda design has grown over the past few years. Now I'd like to talk about what we have done for the current generation of cars and then where we are aiming for. Jinba Itai. This will represent our idea of how a car should be. I think many know this keyword. We want car to have a close relationship with their driver, just like a horse and its rider. Something much stronger than what you get with just a tool for getting a job done. I believe a car can be more than just a mass of metal. I want to turn it into a living thing. For this reason, we want our cars to have a beautiful and dynamic look with the same powerful motion displayed by Predator in the wild. That speaks to the car's spirit. Breathe life into our cars. That's what our Kodo soul of motion design philosophy is all about. Kodo design started with this abstract object. Here was the first time we breathed life into the form. We call this is the Goshintai in Japanese, or North Star. And in 2010, we first turned this into a car, embodying the Kodo design vision with Shinari, concept car. Then we applied this design language to all of our product, like a Mazda 6, Mazda 3, and so on. We phrased this design in with other models in an effort to stand out from the crowd. As a result, we established a strong brand image. One element of this brand image is an association of Mazda with a brand face, and another is with the color red. Though they share the same code of philosophy, each design has a different character. For instance, we gave the CX-3 a greatly changing linearism so that it has urban dynamic quality to it. MX-5 has a calmer movement to it, created by smooth reflections without using sharp edges, so that it has a very high level of sensuality to its dynamic expressions. Meanwhile, the CX-9 has a horizontally based movement to give it a cool, dignified character. We took the approach that although what you feel when you see the car is constant, the expression should have some margin of difference. And this year, because of these activities, we had 2 cars selected in the top 3 vehicles for the World Car of the Year Design Award. Thank you very much. The Mazda CX-3 and MX-5. In the end, MX-5 was awarded the grand prize in the latest top 3 group. And we have also received many wonderful awards. I am very glad to say Mazda design has started to attract attention on the worldwide stage. Now, we are moving toward the next generation design. Our challenge is to aim even higher to elevate our designs. Our mantra for this challenge is car as art, which is to say that we want to take the quality of our design to an artistic level. And form is an area in which Mazda can really take pride. And we will aim at the level of art here. This is our target. Mazda Design has an expert team consisting of the world top-class modelers who are called Takumi. Centering on them, we will commit to hard-steering elegant form made by our own hand and great care. In order to elevate our form language, we create these abstract objects with our Takumi. To seek the purest image of the form, all before starting to design the cars. We have also worked on the design of other products like this as in-house artwork and gained inspiration in a variety of areas from such experiences. Warmth is essential to make the car feel like a living thing. Though it may be a tool created with cutting-edge technologies, we want to avoid a cold digital look and impart the design with warmth. For that reason, I want to stick with handcrafted design. This might be a very unique approach that only Mazda Design has been pursuing. And one more thing. In order to enhance our originality, we will focus on our aesthetic roots, Japan. Since ancient times, Japanese craftsmanship has prized purity of form. But this does not mean merely simplifies everything. A good example of that this is the traditional Japanese garden, containing the purified dynamics of the nature. In order to express this dynamism in a small space, clever techniques are used. Take a look at this drawing. It's smart formula. Smaller stones are placed farther away from the viewer, enhancing this perspective. At first glance, its beauty may appear just simple and serene, but later you will notice it is extremely dynamic and its beauty is precisely designed and crafted. And this is a katana, a sword. That's a famous traditional tool for Japanese warriors. Notice this beautiful wave-like pattern. This is a boundary line where hard metal and soft metal cross each other. The spline, the thickest part of the sword, is made of soft metal to help swinging. And the edge has hard metal for cutting. It's hybrid. This pattern is not decorative. It's formed for structural reasons. But craftsmen, fascinated with its beauty, developed their skill in controlling this pattern for its beauty. Beautifully, precisely calculated by highly skilled craftsmen, embody the roots of the Japanese aesthetic of tools. Being beautifully pure, that's essential. But this does not mean minimalism. While paring back each element, we maximize the beauty, elegance, power of shape, and dynamism. I believe that is a way, an exceptionally Japanese aesthetic. So this is Alex's vision. It is one of the future extreme image target for the next generation of design. It is beautiful, pure, I believe, but also expresses the feeling of honed dynamism as well as hard-steering elegance that I already mentioned. It is designed to show a variety of expression through different reflections with precise surface control by our Takumi modelers. We carefully develop the form of the car by hand for over the year. I believe the appearance is approaching a level that could be considered art. I know this is not easy to achieve, this level of target, but we never stop challenging to materialize this aesthetic and to create design step by step, that will meet the mantra of car as art. So now, I'd like to introduce something new. You can imagine that. Please watch this film we made to convey our thought. Thank you for your attention.
Please welcome Director of Design, Mazda Design Americas, Julian Montuse.
So I hope you agree that this new CX-5 is just so refined that it makes you feel something very special just by looking at it. So under the design philosophy that Maeda-san explained, our job is to use Japanese aesthetic sensibility to create car design that emotionally move people, just like a piece of art. Something that can only be done by challenging the conventional approach. And so the Japanese believe that craftsmen inject life into what they make. The passion and precision that goes into making something builds energy. An energy that is actually contained by the object. So when someone interacts with that object, they receive that exact same amount of energy, or feel that energy. As a Japanese car company, we essentially believe that a form genuinely made by human hands gets a soul. And we are obsessed with the power of human hands and the artistic form that can only be shaped by human hands.
So we experiment with ideas to translate the artistic form into car design. And we call this process an exploratory preparation. And it doesn't start with car design. We create objects of different form and explore how they emotionally move people. That emotional signature of the form, like the CX-3 and MX-5 example shown by Maida-san, is always discussed with all the chief designers in order to inspire the designers to visualize what the final picture may look like. And it's not only the designers that are emotionally connected by the beauty of the form. We have inspired Mazda engineers and workers involved with the car's development. And one great example is the manufacturing team who changed the entire process in stamping the body panels. They went into aligning the movement of the polishing action of the tooling in order to best showcase the quality of the surfacing and enhance the codo movement. So surely I can tell you that this is a unique approach to Mazda design, where other automotive manufacturers are following an additive design approach that is highly graphical, almost cartoonish. We are searching for a pure emotional expression. And the two sculptures that you see here on my left are the result of this amazing process for creative exploration. It supports the progression of Mazda design, which led to our new CX-5. And of course, we knew we had to start with the sport crossover proportion. But we also wanted to design a vehicle that had a dignified, mature feel to it. So elegant, but exciting. Alluring, but yet restrained. And so we created the sculpture before we even put the pen down on paper to formalize our new CX-5. And when we found this feeling of tension with dynamism, we got really excited because it took the idea of dynamism that Mazda is known for, but interpreted in a new way that is actually much more premium. And I really want to emphasize here that we could not have found this solution without the handmade approach. It's not something that you could create on a computer or on a single piece of paper. The result of this explained that this form has a soul, a warmth that generates the amount of energy that it took to create it. And here you see how we translated the overall gesture of the body side of a new CX-5 for an absolutely stunning visual effect that people will fall in love with. Our next step of focus was the stance. Everything we did was to maximize visual stability by lowering the visual center of gravity. To give the impression of traction with the ground, we drew a continuous connection between the tire's outline and the body. We call this form the traction form. In other words, each tire receives visual weight to exercise the suitable force downwards. We create a pure three-dimensional framework where the surfaces are always flowing towards the tires. So we have graphics, reflection, all of those design elements are here to support that intention. The purified body side also helps as it drops into the rear tires, which accentuate the stability and give the feeling of anchored power. We also worked on evolving the front face signature that we're known for. We accentuate the sense of speed and depth. And this, paired with the more aggressive lamp opening, gives the Mazda front face an even more expansive look. The next piece I want to talk to you about is the way we manage the movement of the reflection across the body. And Maida-san mentioned this in his talk earlier, that exploring new ways of reflection moving across the car is an artistic practice. And yes, that means that our designers are staying very late in the studio to explore those flow of artistic reflection. These reflections are actually the result of a collaboration of the form, but also the color done hand in hand. Again, something quite unique is usually done in separate stages. This new color is the ultimate expression of red. It is our new body color evolved from Soul Red. And its biggest characteristic displays a very intense reaction to the way the surface flows around the vehicle. The highlights are super bright, but in contrast, the shadows are so dark they actually look black. So not only did we create a paint and shape combination that has a huge contrast range, but we also created a unique characteristic around the reflection themselves, specifically when the surface have a positive section. The reflection takes on a sharper, crisper look. And when the surface goes negative or concave, the quality of the reflection is much softer with additional gradient. So the paint and foam together is the key element to showcase the new CX-5 refined sense of dynamism. This color was produced by the collective wisdom of Mazda engineers working hand in hand with our designers to actually form the shape and maximize the color's characteristic. The same philosophy of the intense collaboration can also be seen in our interiors. This type of craftsmanship is process-driven and requires human ingenuity, and that is so Japanese. We work very hard to make sure that the shape of any interior part is honest and respect the material it is made from. This is a fundamental idea that makes everything feel ultra high quality. It's the difference between premium design and ordinary design. Moving up in scale, looking at the overall architecture of the interior, we have an even purer dedication towards the driver-centric approach. There's almost a perfect symmetry around the driver axis, which enhances the connection with the vehicle and the road ahead. The upper instrument panel has a strong linear focus, and the bright trim accent unify the interior horizontally, which creates visual space and a very special feeling of elegance. Now, the stability look around the center console translates this awesome feeling of you being in control of the vehicle. The wider console and substantial lower mass of the cabin treated with softer material, all of this accentuate this concept. The seats as well, the foam really embraced the occupant. The bolster deconstructed treatment showcases a purposeful aesthetics. The craftsmanship is insanely precise. And for example, the stitching is super accurate. In fact, every touch point in this interior has soft padding to it, something that a lot of other manufacturers would not even consider. The car promotes a real sense of well-being every time you rest your hand everywhere on the interior. And that's a good place for me to finish. An interior that creates a sense of well-being through its unique sense of connection, and an emotional expression reflected through the exterior's refined dynamism. The CX-5 is the introduction of the next generation of Mazda cars. And although its design development was a daunting task, I think we've created something even more special here that will compete with the very best. Thank you.